celebrate this moment. Sometimes an idea takes a while to actually come into fruition. I know this by being an apple farmer. You plant something and it's an act of faith. Maybe 10 years later you're getting a crop, and that's only on lucky years, at least in the Precious Springs and West Point area. We've been waiting a long time in this county, in this part of the county, to get a chance to take a hold of our own future and do something special with it. We want to put our people back to work. We want to do it in a way that is mindful of a sustaining and safe way of doing business with our forest. And I think we're on the verge of something special. There are a few people who, on an active faith, took a trip down to Sacramento. And I wonder if they might stand for a moment just to get recognition for the moment. I know it's Brianna. Yeah, there we go. Brianna and Remembrance Task Force Watch Anna Jacobs took a trip that seemed like a real long shot down to the USDA offices in Vegas, California. And to our surprise, as we described what we were trying to do, we found a great deal of encouragement, which then led us to do, as I recall, about 4 straight all-nighters, culminating in a grant proposal that got in, well, we started faxing it 5 minutes before the deadline, which we thought was technically okay, although the fax was going slow enough so that I suppose there would be a technical challenge to this. But yes, I know our secret's safe with you all, because rumors never happen in West Point. At any rate, we're very honored to have 2 dignitaries from the federal government here, which is also a special occasion here in West Point. To my right, Ben Higgins from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is, of course, the funding source for this, coming out of his budget. And to my left is Congressman Dan Lundy, who represents this district and was one of the people who wrote a letter of support, which I am hoping will interest Mr. Higgins and his department. So we owe a great deal to both of them. I believe they have a couple of remarks, and I would like to make a point where that ends. We are here also, aside from expressing our gratitude for the funding, we're here to honor one of the people who originally thought this idea up. We have with us Wade Fisher, who is sitting to my right here. Wade was the guy who at every CHIPS meeting when we were discussing ideas kept saying, well, why don't we just do it? And despite all of our excuses about process and government and how long it takes, we thought it appropriate to have the fellow who pushed us every step of the way come here to actually receive the very large check that is behind us. So, Congressman Lumpkin, if you might begin for a minute. We'll start with Ben here.
Thank you, Steve. It really is a pleasure to be here today to make things happen. I think if there's one dynamic that brings us together here in this group today, it's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is one of those things that I think we all know to move forward. There are some legendary examples. I'm often reminded that Bill Hewlett came back, started a company with an initial investment of $538. Bill Gates, Paul Allen started Microsoft as a former before dropping out of college. Sam Walton started with run down Ben Franklin's. James Merritt started with a single Uber machine. The list can go on and on. The point is that every small town, every healthy neighborhood, every thriving community, whether it's urban or rural, is built upon good jobs made possible by efforts like this one, by people not unlike all of you sitting here in this room. We see this all the time in USDA rural development. Our mission broadly is to increase economic opportunity, improve quality of life in rural areas. We're basically, essentially, an investment bank for rural communities. We've got a portfolio nationwide, about $96 billion. Our annual investment in California is over more than $400 million. We've made those investments in infrastructure, in housing, in local economic development, as we're doing here today, and in individual businesses. We're here to serve rural America. We're here to serve you, to support your efforts. And as you know, that's why we're here today. To support the CHIPS project, $96,500 rural business enterprise grant. You know, what I've seen in this project so far, and talking to some of the principals involved, is great examples of different interests in entrepreneurial spirit, really. Creating jobs, creating economic opportunity in incredibly important regions of the state, while addressing the very real need here for active forest management, for reducing some of these small diameter timbers that create these fuel loads. There's such a problem here and elsewhere. Now, we're about to hand some leaders of this project a big ceremony of checks to commemorate this investment. And as you might imagine, as the state director of USDA for development here in California, I am fortunate enough to get to do this pretty often. Turn over the first shovel for a year, cut a ribbon, to hand over one of these checks. But whenever I participate in one of these efforts, a conference, a groundbreaking, a dedication, what happens, whether it be for a wastewater treatment plant, a critical access hospital, a biodiesel facility, I am acutely aware that the heavy lifting is not done by me. It's done by all of you here in this county. Put that application together, put the hard work that went into that application to make it possible. It's our staff, these officers that are working to receive that fax at midnight, processing the application to get it so I can put my signature on it. And I think it's worth noting that every single thing that we do at USDA Rural Development depends on these strong partners, entrepreneurs, local governments, nonprofit organizations, farmers, families, and I think it's worth mentioning here today, members of Congress. We're not only responsible for funding all of our efforts, but also play a key role in identifying local efforts that are worthy and deserve of our support. That's why it's so great to have all of you here today, members of the community, leaders in this effort, but also Congressman Lundgren, who I think, again, it's worth noting, brought this project to direct his office to my attention. So let me close just by saying, once again, on behalf of President Bush, on behalf of Secretary Johansson, the great team at USDA Rural Development, thank you for doing the heavy lifting on this project. I'm personally proud to support this effort. I think it's a good one. I think what you're doing here is making this community, this county, a better place to live. So thanks again for having us here today.
Risk that funders take on fledgling organizations, but I think I can speak for just about everybody in this room to let you know that we're going to make you proud of what you did here. And we're proud of our community. We're excited about getting an opportunity to show what we can do. And when the day this grant is done, you'll have something that you can show the rest of the country just what West Point's all about. I'd like to introduce Dan Lundgren, our U.S. Congressman.
Thank you very much, Steve. When you started to say it's a major risk, I thought you were going to say it's always a major risk to be a congressman. I thought you were going to try and be funny, but thank you for not doing that. It's a pleasure to be with you. I thank Ben Hayden for being here. Steve and the other leaders in this community, and you are all leaders in your own way. Wade, thank you for being here and allowing us to share this ceremony with you. The fact of the matter is that West Point and communities like this and counties like this around the country are largely not thought of that much back in Washington, D.C. and Congress. Perhaps it's because you don't have that many people here. Perhaps it's because folks back in Washington are sure that they know how to protect the forest better than those of you who live here. I've always thought that's kind of a strange idea. I've had people here who go back generations in this community. When I was here 6 months ago. It's amazing, even the people who have been here perhaps 3 or 4 generations or more. People who grew up, and their families grew up in the timber industry, and doing what they thought was appropriate to help this country, but also to help themselves. And I heard the stories from folks when I was here before about the devastation that comes to the community when folks who want to work can't find jobs, when they don't want to leave. This is their life. This is the place that they were born. This is where they want to raise their kids. But they understand you have to have a job. You have to have an economic base. And so anything we can do to try and address that concern, it seems to me, is worthy of our time. And that's why it's easy for me to come up here today when we have the chance to bring you good news. That a grant generated by the request from this community concerning that which you're already doing, but which could be enhanced by this grant, comes to some fruition. I hope that someday, not only are we sitting here talking about a grant for the beginnings of, and I still say the beginnings of the CHIPS program because there's a lot of more promise out there. I hope someday we can come here and say that this is one of the great examples of cellulosic technology which has allowed us to take the fuel that's in our forests and make it into energy for this state and this nation. The President talks a lot about switchgrass. People in some areas, particularly Iowa, talk about corn. We have a tremendous opportunity in our home state to show that we can have healthy forests, create jobs, produce energy, create less dependence on energy down the line with what I hope will be developed over the next decade or so. In the meantime, you folks haven't just stopped and waited for that. You've tried to take it upon yourselves and figure out how to make this work right now without congratulations. And this is a real story of success, but it is a continuing story that needs a lot more work. We shouldn't be happy until everybody in this community has an opportunity to have a job. That everybody has an opportunity to raise their kids here, not see them, wait for them as they leave to go off somewhere else and find a job. But when you can greet them as they live in houses near you, you can see your grandchildren as they grow up, and they have prospects for jobs in the future. That's my hope. It seems to me that's an obligation we have. I was very impressed when I was here on my last visit to see the people who said, look, we don't want welfare. We don't want handouts. We don't want the government helping us. We want to be able to help ourselves. So please find a way. This is one small contribution. There will be more in the future, is my hope. And if we can match that commitment that you have here with the commitment in Washington, D.C. and other places in this country, figure this out. So we're not at each other's throats arguing, I'm for divorce, you're not for divorce, I'm for help, you're not for help, I'm for kids, you're not for kids. But we're all in this together, trying to work together, it seems to me, we'll be a lot better off. I congratulate you on the resilience of this community. I congratulate you for your persistence. I congratulate you for your enthusiasm and your ingenuity. And, it was just 5 minutes before the application was due. It's like 5 minutes before midnight. You still have 5 minutes. You don't give up. You go ahead and do it. And you did it. And Vicki, thank you very much for everything you have done. And the example you give. We need more people like you back in Washington, D.C. who say, why not just do it? We spent a lot of time figuring out why we can't do something. We need more people telling us, let's just do it. Thank you for encouraging them all the way. You know, if you hadn't said that, they might have waited until 5 minutes after midnight, we wouldn't be here right now. So thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to call on Wendy Fisher to please stand up and come forward. I would also request that all the partners and participants come up as well behind Wendy. Senator Cox was instrumental in the early phases of the CHIPS project and also supported this grant with both letters and an active role. And Dana was the trustee aide to camp that actually helped make this happen. I wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to address here as well. I'm glad to be here today and see all of you here that support this worthwhile program. The Senator was up here and met many of you, and it's probably time for another visit in a little while. But you're doing a good job, Congressman. I think you made us. Anyway, I'm just happy to be here today to congratulate you on your grant. I know you guys I was driving around a little bit earlier today and saw some of the things that you're doing in the neighborhood and all positive things, and we hope to see what you can accomplish with this grant as well. So we will be back and see what you've done, and I'm sure it'll be great. Thanks. Okay, that pretty much caps us off, but people thought that 4 nights, all-nighters, and a grant was tough. Now the real hard work begins. For those of you involved in the community, we will be training 24 people. We'll be buying shippers and trucks to be able to move this stuff, and we'll begin to serve people in the 4 towns with some clearing. We'll be applying for fire safe grants, which there's $300,000 worth of grants right for this county that we hope to be performing the work for, which means that for people who have long given up, who are not on the staff as unemployed, who are just out there, we know they're in the forest chopping wood and trying to sell firewood, let's round them up and get them going on this project. So the hard work is finding our folks, recapturing them, and giving them a living wage job. So bring them on in. The applications are available in the Community Service Center here in West Point, and we are also looking for a project coordinator, somebody who can lead the chipping crew. So some of our old foremen, some of the mill guys, let's go hunt them down. We need the best to come forward and lead this crew to glory. Thanks a lot for coming here.